Oh, hello. After a little bit of a break due to holidays, etc., back. And actually just on the day before I went on holiday, so about a couple of weeks ago, I reckon, this came out. Dragonbane core rules for Foundry. So far, as it says here, only available for Kickstarter backers, but surely it'll be available and to wider audience soon. Since I got back from holiday, and I spent a few hours just looking at this, and I thought I'd share some early impressions. Of course, this is hello, buenos dias, Kai. Of course, this is only a first impression, and I haven't actually played with this yet, so keep that in mind as I go through. But I thought it would be worth going through and showing you off. So the first thing you do is you go to install it here, of course. Yeah, if you're a Kickstarter backer, you can get the codes from your pledge manager. Enter it in Foundry. Once you've done that, it becomes available to install. But all of that is standard knowledge. If you have questions about it, please ask. And then you get, unfortunately, you don't actually get to this map. You get to another scene, but this is the one that matters. Yeah, you start off, I think, on this one, which is not best effort. Or actually, it might be the front cover of the box, but this is the one that matters. So this is the Misty Veil. Let me just show it in its full glory. Now, if you've watched any of my stuff before, you know that I've done basically hacked together job on custom systems builder with a very good system provided by Ario and some others. And it worked. Yeah, we could play with it, and it worked quite well, even though it had a few edges. And Kai, thank you very much for your subscription as well. Really appreciate it. At some point, big Amazon will actually give me some money. When you have $50 together, I think that's when they pay out, and I think I'm now at 30. So a few months and I'll get something. So, if I zoom in, for example, here on Outskirt, you can see that the graphics quality of this map is actually really good. It's really sharp. I personally would switch off the grid here, just to make it a little bit more, how do you say it, immersive, like a picture. Yeah, Kai, I mentioned that I have done this video before this morning on my German channel, so I'm basically trying to do the same in English. Now, for those like Patrik, who actually made this module, what's it called? Let me just check. No, that's not wrong. Patrik, what's his name? It's not on here. That can't be right. I don't want to murder his name. So, let's have a look. Project URL. No, that's not it either. Best laid plans. I'll leave it. But yeah, that's one thing. And one thing that already Patrik is aware of is that the scaling doesn't quite match. So you've got the scale up here. And if you just check the scale, yeah, it says it's 12 meters when it should be 15 kilometers. But that's really easy to fix. And while I'm here, I might as well show you. You just basically go into grid. You say each grid is not 2 meters, which is the standard, but 2.5 kilometers. Yes, kilometers, not miles. And pops your uncle. Then it's your aunt. 15k. There you go. Fixed. And the other fix is go to the grid, take the opacity right down. And now you've got a gorgeous map. You have on here the linked adventure sites, as you can see. Yeah, so click on them and you get the entry from the book, from the adventure book. So that's very useful. Yeah, location for the solo adventure, Deep Fall Breach. If you have watched my stuff, you can see how that works, and works quite nicely. Matt Kai, who wrote the rules, did a very good job there, I think. Rules in, we've played this one already on my German stream, and we played Othel's Load. But yeah, very nice map. I'm really impressed with the resolution of this and the sharpness of this. So let's have a look. The first thing you may want to have a look in is the character sheet. The character sheet, first port of call if you like. Let's have a look at one of the pre-gens. Maybe go for the Magician this time. And actually music is a bit loud, isn't it? Turn that down a bit. Hope that's better. So we have the portrait, very nice and artsy here with the background removed. So it's just basically the portrait for the character, which is very cool artwork from Johann Egerkrantz. Then we've got the different attributes here at the top. Let me just fold out the chat bar. Yeah, so we've got the attributes, and we can roll against the attributes just by clicking here on the header. Yeah, gives us this roll dialog of boons and banes, and you just roll against it and see what happens. Oh, of course, first roll. That's actually a demon, not very good at all. You can click your conditions down here, and that will give you a bane on the roll. It should at least. Yeah, there you go. 2 into 1. Still a pretty good roll. Very well done. You get basically the key information that you need for playing here on one page. That's pulled out from the other bits. So you've got the hit points, you've got death rolls on your willpower points, you've got rest buttons. These here will reset your rest. You've got the information, damage bonus. I'm not quite sure why we need that on the front page, but fair enough. I guess it fitted. You've got the kin and the profession on here. You've got the skills here. Now, all of this is replicated in more detail on the other pages. The bold ones here are the profession skills. And you basically, if you want to increase something, you just type over the number here. And the tick boxes are for when you have a roll of a dragon or a demon, and then you've got the chance to actually improve them. So I don't think that's it's just a tick box. I don't think there's a roll for improvements now. Doesn't happen. You've got the abilities and spells here, which are items, so you just drag and drop them from the abilities or spell tabs, as you can see here. So I could easily give a new heroic ability, for example, or I can take it away again. The GM giveth and the GM taketh away. You've got the inventory here, for example. You've got the weapons and the armor that pulls forward to the front sheet, and you've got the encumbrance as well. So interestingly enough, I was told, let's see if I put 700 gold coins in here, that it will actually take the weight of the coins for your encumbrance. Yes, it is. 700 gives you encumbrance of 9 now, which is severely encumbered. So you've got torches in here. I don't think there's any management in the system yet about torches and managing the rolls for torches. You've got your memento and tiny items, etc. So that's quite nice. And the background here at the back is here. So very orderly, looks art-wise just the ticket. It just looks great, I think. Armor, if you wore any, would be down here. So that works brilliantly. Then if I have... I'll just go to the battle map for a moment. I drag them on. You can see that they're tokenized, so it's not just the same portrait, but Patrik has actually gone through and made an artwork and portrait with consistent frames for everything. So that takes me to from the maps. Yeah, you've got the main map, you've got the front cover, and if you have this content module that I'm showing you, then you also have all the adventure sites down here. And they are all in a pretty good standard, yeah? They're all tagged up and labeled up. Really pleased with that. You have in the characters, I started putting a couple of our characters across here. Hey, Fowlin. You say released. I have to be cautioning you on that. It has been released for backers. Yeah, for backers only at this point. They reckon when it goes in general sale, probably in August, the system, and the module will also go on the system. That's right. So sorry if that disappoints now. So you've got the bestiary, yeah, which is basically all the monsters from it, and I'll just take one of them, for example, the griffin. If I drop him on, you can see that his size is automatically adjusted. So he's a large enemy, I think. If I had the dragon, yeah, can see how big he is. So that's nice that is taken account of as well. Yeah, I'm waiting for the box as well, Kai. I was notified yesterday that it would be here today, but it's 5 o'clock here now. I don't think it'll be coming today. So if I had the griffin here and he was going to attack, you can see hit points up here. A left click crosses them off, a right click takes them away, or you can do the typical down here, -5, and it will adjust them for you. You also have the description, traits, but you don't get a list of the attack options. Instead, you get an attack button and a defend button. So if I click on this one here, let me just go back to the chat. It automatically rolls on the attack table and gives you the result. And it does not automatically roll the damage because you're supposed to say now if you're being attacked, whether you're trying to dodge or parry before you actually know what the damage is. So that's, I think, why that's staged makes good sense to me. The only unfortunate thing is here, as a GM, I sometimes don't want to roll the attack. I might just want to choose one, especially if there's the same attack over and over again. Here I don't actually have the list of attacks. Yeah, if I wanted that, I would have to go over to roll tables. I would have to go to adventures, rules it is. Bestiary, find the griffin there, look at the table, and then select from here. Yeah, I think there might be an option at some point, but I guess it's also a question of space to have a tab here for attacks, or maybe a fold-out here that you can select an attack. Right. What does it say, Foden? Does this version prevent repeated attacks following what's called out in the book? I think, from memory, what you're saying is in the book it says you shouldn't be attacking the same attack twice. And I don't think... Let's try here. Let's try a few. I haven't had an immediate double, but sweeping claws does get repeated after a while, of course. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. You're supposed to... If you can't see the list, you can't choose the next one on the list either. I have not done an immediate repeat yet. So, but how many do I have to do before I know it's random or not random? It might do it. There's no repeats here at all, is there? That's a really good question. Yeah, right. I have not had a single repeat yet. There's always something else in between. So it might do it, or it might just be completely random that it's currently not doing it. Oh, hello, Mohammed. All the old gang are coming back together. Thanks for dropping by. Really appreciate it. So that's that one. Back to here. You've got the common animals. So basically anything that's in the book you've got on here. Pre-gen as well, typical NPCs. Then for the different adventure sites, you have the key characters as well. So for example, if I go to Outskirt, you get the same effect. You get a portrait there displayed, and you get a token which is similar but not always the same. So for example here, Quasiman Scum. Yeah, so there's a set of different icons that are being taken from the group of people, which I think is really clever. Don't even know how he did it. Really like it. Token frames, yeah, they do look good. But I actually, personally, I prefer tokens to look like this, basically naked, with no frame on it at all. But yeah, little details, as you say. I think that, for example, here, pulling out a group of three times and it gives you a different token, I think that's really good. I guess it's done with wildcards. Not 100% sure. So, we've got the adventures. We've got the sword adventures. There's not a lot here. Ingolfer Stonegaze doesn't have a portrait, but I don't think he has one in the book. I made one myself when I used him. Items. I started creating my own ones here, but essentially you've got abilities as icons, so you can drag and drop all of this onto character sheets. Gear, kin, profession, skills, spells. If you wanted to do a homebrew profession, there's some already out. You can create one. So, for example, you can compile one here. What I've done... No, it was not profession. Kin is what I did. If on the character sheet, you remember that you had kin up here, human. Yeah. You can actually type into there, as long as it's one of these, or you can drag and drop it. Drag and drop is probably the cleverer thing. But if you wanted to tweak something or you want to modify something, you can create your own professions over here. So let's just go to Darmak. He's here. It's dwarf currently, right? But if I push this on, it's now Zwerg. Yeah, I just copied dwarf, renamed it, but you could actually also put a different kin ability or a different movement on here. And then you can create your homebrew kin. So that's that one. Spells, they're all in here as well, all from the book. And if I look at my caster here, you can see once you learned them, once you drag them onto here, you can mark which ones are remembered. The P stands for prepared. Yeah, currently in memory, currently castable. And if you have them P'd here, that sounds a bit wrong, you have them ticked here, they will then show up here in your quick access. So along with all the trained skills. The untrained skills, they're still here. You have to just hop a tab across. Yeah, and I guess it detects them. If they're base chance, then they're not trained. So let's just go for hammers, and instead of 4, put a 14. Now I go across here, and there's hammers now. So that's the logic in there. So it automatically populates anything that's not just the base chance. Another little detail, yeah? Let's take the 4 away again, the 1 away, and hammers is gone. If you have a spell that is not prepared in here, so for example, I just take Puff of Smoke. No, that's a cantrip, doesn't make sense. Let's take Gust of Wind away. And you go back to this one here, you can now see there's no Gust of Wind. So that's immediate. From memory, I can't remember how many you can have in memory at the same time. I think it's governed by your wisdom, isn't it? But I would have to look that up. Yeah, Kai, you said about the portraits for monsters that don't have one in the book. You can't, as a developer, you can't just pick something off the internet. Yeah, you would have to actually ask Bjorn Egerkrans, can you make another picture for us? So it's a bit tricky. We had the same issue in all the other modules, from Forbidden Lands to Alien and so on. When there's not, or Coriolis especially, if there's not artwork in the book, then as a developer you can't really put something in yourself. Yeah, either really say, we're going to give you some extra stuff, or you're stuck with a placeholder. But you can always create something yourself. Right, where was I? Remind me. Items. You have in the adventures also some, I shouldn't show those, some relics, yeah? And you have the extra talents for the solo mode. It's very easy to create new ones. You can also, within the character sheet, for example, this is a recent edition, the first version didn't have this. You can just say, okay, I want a new inventory item. It's not on the list of trade goods, for example. I'll show you the trade goods one. Gear, for example, light sources, they're all here, and you say, I've got something else that's not on there. You can just click on here, new item, edit it, yeah, and say, okay, what is it? Is it a memento? Is it something else? And you've created it. So you don't actually have to wade through menus. You can do it straight from here. That's really clever. You can also, if you wanted a memento, for example, like I created here, you can use that plus. You can say this is a memento. Take that here. Take that there. Come on. Oh, let me take it. I won't it. Let's try that. Try again. Okay. When I tested this earlier, it worked. So I just pushed one down. And as you can see, actually what it... Oh, that's why probably. When it pushed it down, it pushed the other thing that I had created as a memento to tiny items. So it's even governing that you only can have one memento. Clever. Didn't know that. I'm getting more and more impressed by this, I have to say. So what else have we got? We have all the rules here. So there's a, and do please read this bit, the introduction to the system. Yeah, I should have mentioned this first. I didn't do it when I did the German version of the video. But in here it will tell you pretty much what you need to know and how to drive this module. So what can you do on each of the tabs? I marked things as broken, how to roll things, so you get the little shortcuts here, shift and roll is just without banes or boons, and control with default banes and boons. Yeah, how the NPC sheet works is on here. Monster attacks, how to do them, perform a monster attack by left-clicking, show the monster. Oh, haha, I should have read that myself. Show the monster attack table by right-clicking the button with the sword image. So if you wanted to see this, let's see. Ah. Gosh, this guy is clever. Okay, my earlier point of criticism goes away. I know, Paul. Read the manual. I should have read that bit. Very good. There's a lot of good stuff in here, basically is what I'm saying. Combat, how that works, and I tested this a little bit. I have to test it a bit more. So you can target and apply damage, but when I try to do it the other way around, the monsters were actually damaging themselves, so I'm not quite sure whether I did something wrong or whether there's a bug. I need to test it a bit more. But basically what you can do is you can say this one and this one, these two are in combat, and I have enabled the combat year zero combat option, so gets the cards. Unfortunately, they often don't get shuffled initially, which is really annoying. So you get the sequentially. Then the Griffin, I say, attacks. One thing up there. So he attacks this guy, so target. The Griffin does an attack. Griffin throw. 2d6 piercing damage. Yeah. Let's say he didn't dodge, and then you can right-click on here and say deal damage. Now the question is, does he go to the target? I think he should deal damage. 6 point on Delmak Ashbane. And the armor soaks 1. So that is already automated. If, however, I go to Delmak, maybe that's because I'm the what do you call it, GM. So you can, on an attack, you can basically say how to attack, whether you want to use anything special. Make it. So he rolls damage on the Griffin. Ooh, look at the damage. And if I now deal damage and ignore armor, for example, because I had something, you can do that here, but just normal damage. That works. Yeah, okay. That's nice. Maybe earlier it didn't work with the Goblin, but maybe I made some mistake. So that works. What does it say here? Oh, hang on, Folan. Double checking. I have the deluxe bundle. Foundry looks to have been stretch goal, so maybe I should have access. I'll have to reach out. If you did the late pledge, then you might be able to reach out and get the code early. I'm not quite sure. Probably you should be able to, really, but it will not be automated, I think. Players can't deal damage on NPCs in Foundry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, maybe because... yeah, but I was GM. I didn't test it with the player. But anyway, Roland, so do have a look at, I think it's Pledge Manager, and if you look at that, there's on the bottom right, there is my receipts or my codes or something, and from there you should be able to get it. Right. Next bit. There's lots of roll tables in here. Now you will see that the roll tables, for example, there's lots of gear roll tables. There's name roll tables. I don't think you normally would actually go in here to roll them, but you can if you want to. You construct your own stuff. Same with the magic. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily dive in here. Or even the monster attacks or random events from one of the adventure sites. Instead, you would typically go to these places from here. So, for example, we've got your player character, and it will then talk you through the character generation process, and then you can roll from here. Now, most of the tables are embedded. So, for example, each player can have this open and say, "Oh, I'm rolling for my kin," and then say, "All right, for human." You can't see that there. And then you can just drag and drop it from here straight onto your character sheet. So that's where the tables get used. Yeah, or 1d6 result for name. You can't drag and drop a name, but you can copy and paste it if you like. Halflings, etc., etc. But if I look for profession, again, you can roll them here if you want to. You don't have to roll them, and you even get the initial gear. Yeah, where you can roll. Okay, I'll drag all of this on. So this is, again, nicely embedded, nicely put together. I haven't used it like this, but what I have done is I have some of my German characters, player characters, I have put them in here. And it was really actually not hard. Yeah, especially if you use the quick insert module. If you're looking for, I don't know, a sword, long sword, great sword, boom, boom, done. Yeah, it's really, really quick to do. And here it's hover and delete, I think, under inventory. Or here, great sword. So, all of that nicely put together. What was there? There were a couple of things where I thought, I'll get back to that. I just remember what it was. So, that's tables, lots and lots of tables for everything, basically, including for adventures, for example. And this is something I want Paul's eye on. And we also have the tag tables, as I mentioned earlier, so you can actually tweak them, modify them as you like. We also have the treasure table here, and that's important because when I first looked at this, I thought, oh, look at the decks. What have we got? We have treasure deck here. I thought, why do you do that as treasure, as a deck? I know in the box it's a deck, absolutely. But a lot of the times, if you take one of these, you actually have to then roll for further results. For example, it might say 2d12 copper pieces, or it might say something like melee weapon, roll a d6, and it tells you what type of melee weapon. And that's a bit annoying if you don't automate that. But then I realized two things. We have the treasure here as a table, so you can just roll from here. And I will do it for you. So for example, here is a bottle, and then a healing roll reveals the content. On a failure, you roll in secret, otherwise d6, you roll the d6. It's 2, and then you say number 2. All right, that's the sleeping potion. Now you should be able to do this with nested items, but even better, it's not the one for Paul yet. There are some macros. So if you look at the macros in here, we have draw treasure card and no reset, and reset treasure cards. So we can actually just draw it from here. And it doesn't actually use the deck, it uses the table. So that's, I thought, was quite clever. And that actually addressed that point of criticism for me. Now, the next thing, and this is where I'm hoping Paul can help me a little bit. We have these adventure generators. Here, I'll just pop them out for me. If I go to the journal, and that's adventures. Is it under adventures? I thought it was. Now it's here under this adventures. You can then see, all right, we have creating adventures, and we've got all the individual tables here. So you can say one fine day around the warmth of a campfire, a messenger from Davana, a secretive elven hunter, destroyed. Yeah, you can see how that works. A book called Yommelkut. And then you basically create an adventure like this. You should be able, and I'm looking at you, Paul, you should be able to create a single roll button to give you all of this, right? To basically build up, like you've done on the mission generator for Alien. And I don't think that's implemented here yet. So it's a lot of clicking. It could be, yeah, it's an adventure hook. Yeah, it's not going to give you a floor mat and so on. That should be possible. Good, Paul. So it's just a nested table. I might have to speak to you offline about how to do this. And then they can do the same for the adventure side, for traps, etc. Yeah, so here are the tables again. The way in is hidden and hard to find. There is a winding stairway leading into this. Of course, they'll start getting repetitive, obviously. Yeah, but you can basically do it like this. Yeah, so quite like that as well, but that's in the rules. So just, I think that one button for the task, one button for the adventure side might be nice. And I haven't found that, what's his name, has done this here, Pavel. Right. So, that's the roll tables. I'm reaching the end of my little bar here, so it's time for your questions. Improvised weapons, you can have these. For example, if you're in a cave and you say, I'm looking for an improvised weapon, you can deal them. There's also a roll table for them. And then basically, depending on whether you're in a cave, in a forest, or an inn, you can have different weapons. But again, the roll table is good. Not all of them are actually weapons. So if you look at forest, for example, a bit hard to see, isn't it? Yeah, I can't even see that. Just I deal them. I don't think I can see them either, can I? No, but you know what the maps, what they look like. So, music. There's a stretch goal for soundtrack, hasn't been implemented yet, and I'm not sure because it was a Kickstarter exclusive whether they'll actually put it in the module. Sometimes they do, sometimes they haven't. I have to see how that works out. So, any questions from you? What do you think? I think the graphics look great. Yeah, the implementation looks solid. There's lots of little hidden details in there for first iteration and actually for the first system that this guy has implemented. I'm very impressed by it. There are some very, very minor niggles. I know, for example, that this one here on the map, that the scale isn't right. He's already aware, and he said he's got a fix for that. So he's going to do this. Now, this one is not from Paul. This is from, I think he's called Pavel. I was trying to look it up earlier. Just as Free League Publishing. Where's the module? If I look for the module rather than this. Where did I find it? Systems and modules. Dragonbane. Give this guy some credit, eh? We look at the system. Patrik, not Pavel. Patrik. Yeah, just in that moment. But I think his surname is something with Pavel. Then you can see here, this is for the module, for the system. And where's the author? Patrik P, that's all it says. Patrik P. And I'm really impressed. Package developer, 2 years. Yeah, give him some credit, give him some kudos. He's also on the Free League Discord, on the Foundry Discord, and always very happy to take feedback. So if you discover something, that I'm sure he will be happily taking that. Or if you discover any bugs, you can go here. That's PAFVEL. That's his GitHub ID. That's how I came to Pavel. But it's Patrik. So, questions? Any other questions? It's really cool. All the credit to Patrik. I've gotten used to seeing Paul's name since I've been trying out Symbaroum. Yeah, well, Paul has been doing a great job on Symbaroum. And yeah, that was a magnum opus for you, wasn't it, Paul? And can I just say, Paul, you said you were testing the 5e, the runes of Symbaroum. Are you helping out? Because you haven't taken that over, have you? Just to check. That's still honey badgers, I take it. So, any other questions? Anything you want me to show, to look? Oh, one thing I actually noticed or tried to find. You know, in the box you get the standees. So essentially it's like the artwork for this. The artwork is there, but having some sort of folder somewhere where you can just go to all the standees would be cool. I can't really say at present. Fair enough. So, Volan, I did the demo here. This is Foundry 10, but I did test it in Foundry 11 as well. On my local Foundry install, which is 11, and it did work. So everything I've looked at worked in 10 and 11. So what you've seen here was all in 10. Yeah? But 11 seems to work quite well. So version 10 up here. So I think, Faunan, you are very excited now because you've got access to this. You didn't know that before, did you? You just need to assemble a few hardy adventurers and go out for a couple of adventures. Yeah. So let me just go to one thing here. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say we've got this map here. All right. Ah, yes. So one of the things is often you have these, player maps where you don't really show everything to everybody at the same time. So even there, he's thought about including a wall here to say, okay, your players can see the island, but they can't necessarily see the 3D sideways view. Very impressed. Very impressed. I think Patrik is a very welcome addition to the developer group. I'm sure that you'll see more from him. So, yeah, cool, Fallen. If you can do it in the next month or two, then great. I actually I'm going away on holiday again for 10 days, and so after that I've got some time in August to maybe run another one-shot or so. So, if that's it from you guys, then thank you very much for keeping me company. Really enjoyed it. And any more comments, you know where to find me. Yeah, this will be on YouTube if you want to catch up on it and share it. Yeah, if you say it to other people, look, this video is available here. Should be available then tomorrow around 24 hours from now. So, take care, everybody. I hope to see you. Oh, hang on, there's one. For the Misty Veil map is the player-facing version. The player-facing version is basically the same map because you're meant to just plonk this in front of them. Actually, that reminds me, is there the adventure side cards are not here, are they? Oh, in the pack, there's actually a set of cards with a legend, if you like. Short description for each of the adventure sites. And I don't see that here. It's basically this little thing here. So you would have to share that. That's an omission. Just as I'm seeing this, you have sometimes got these and Foundry VTT, so there's actually some specific mention of how to do things. For example, for treasure, again, there's a little touch. You can just say treasure 3, which means draw 3 treasure cards. How cool is that? Anyway, there's also little tricks and so on that I've found out, but this is not the point of this stream. So, thanks for keeping me company, and I don't think there's a player-facing map of this because you're just meant to show them, but these annotations the players shouldn't be able to see. If you don't share the journal entries for them, then these map pins will not show up for them. So, share it, leave us a thumb once it's on YouTube. I really enjoyed having you here. It always makes it much more lively and enjoyable. And I'll see you soon.